Hi everybody, welcome to this Pro and Expert playthrough for Pebble Beach, and we're looking at the back 9, so that is holes 10 to 18. If you've not seen it already, check out the channel for the front 9 holes. Please give me a thumb up and make sure you subscribe to the channel, both totally free to do so. Timestamps in the video description down below. These are random wind directions, may or may not be indicative of what you face during the tournament. If they change, though, of course, you will need to tweak, as always, according to your clubs, balls, play style and whatever wind directions you have. If you're looking for master content, head over to Golf Clash Tommy on YouTube. He is doing third tee free video guides, general playthrough for Pebble Beach. Hope you're enjoying this new course. Leave me a comment and let me know. Timestamps in the video description down below. Good luck. Here we go. On this par 4, we have a cross headwind in this example. I'm going to use a Kingmaker. Of course, you can use different balls here. Fairly straight par 4. We just want to get down as far as we can with the wind angle that we have. 5.8 top spin, 2 bars of side spin to the left. I would recommend you go with a Kingmaker or a Titan here. Now I'm backing up a little bit with my Apocalypse going from +4 to give myself room to adjust here so that I'm not pulling all the way into overpower all the time. Obviously extra mile, Thor's hammer, or big topper if you've got a newer account is fine. The adjustment is maximum distance, 10% elevation. Now I'm going full overpower here. If you want to have a less shaky needle, then you can of course use a higher power ball. Minor grates either side, going to be fine with an accurate driver. Obviously if you've got tailwind, you're going to get very close, if not on the green, or end up with a wedge or a putt. But most cases in crosswind or with any headwind, you're going to leave yourself a thorn or any short iron, of course. Now I find the minimum distance line, then I'm pushing up rings from min to a point where I'm not going to need a lot of spin. Try and play this close to no spin or one top spin so that you're not messing around too much with the spin. In the end here I pushed up I think about 20 rings, but I'm playing true club distance. Now in the video I play with 15% elevation. It's not enough in crosswind, I needed more. So in this wind angle particularly, I would go 25% elevation, just because the crosswind is going to affect the path of the ball a bit more. Obviously tailwind, headwind, you could probably reduce to 20 or 15, leave the ball guide long or short. But it's 1% slider per ring. Decent chance for an eagle though if you can get to short iron. If not, very easy wedge or putt in a good wind angle. Fairly short par 4 here, a little bit of a dogleg at the end, but we're going to get ourselves to wedge range even in this headwind angle. Starting with the quarterback in this wind angle, top of +10, ball guide pointing down the middle of the fairway. Then I switch to my Apocalypse and then bring a bag. It doesn't have to be Apocalypse, could be extra mile or Thor's hammer, going with 5.8 top spin. So there you see the ball guide is still aiming down the fairway, and we're going to adjust maximum distance 0 elevation. Now because we have headwind, which is why I do the club swap and not adjust into overpower, I'm going to go full overpower. It is a slow needle. If you do not have any headwind, you have a nice tailwind angle, you could set up at max position with the Kingmaker or a Titan, adjust and then just still take yourself down the fairway nicely. We're going to get to the point that we want, so the overpower is only needed really to get rid of the headwind element. Skirting past the bunker, a few clicks of left curl might have gone very beneficial there, just to take the bunker out of the equation. But you can see here with this headwind off the tee, we've got pretty much straight headwind wedge, and we're in end bringer range here. If for some reason you are short and you don't want to push the drive, you will have a rings from min thorn. But this one we're playing end bringer school. You could see I was just before the pin at max distance here, so in the end I play this max +25, no spin method. If you don't know the Endbringer method, I have a quick fire tutorial. You can learn the whole thing in about 5 or 6 minutes on the channel homepage. Check out the Academy tutorial videos. Lots of methods there, including rings from min, designed to help you drop more shots. So nice easy hole here. It's going to be a wedge pretty much in all wind angles for your eagle. Par 3 here, and once again with these par 3s, so often in the game the rough bump is the best chance to drop for the hole in one, because you take out a load of flight time with the ball in the air. So we're going with the sniper here. We have tailwind and we're applying just before 2 backspin and approximately 1 bar side spin to the left. I needed more side spin though, unfortunately. Now the spin will vary, but the ring reference I'm using is having the right edge of the yellow ring touching the rough at the top of +7 with sniper 10 would be top of +9 with sniper 9. So this rough bump is going to be the way forward in any tailwind and crosswind. You would need a higher power ball if you had cross headwind. If you have direct headwind, I would play with a low power ball and go from the minimum distance line with the quarterback if you want to go for that rough bump. Max +10 is the adjustment, needed a bit of an offset there. The speed is good, just need to aim a little bit to the left in this wind angle. A nice straightforward and short par 4, or fairly short, at least in tailwind it plays very short. I'm going to go with a Titan here. I want a bit of extra wind push in tailwind, and I don't want to waste a Kingmaker unless I really need to. I use the Thor's hammer just to see how much distance I'm going to get with full overpower. It's going to trickle to the fringe very nicely, and then I swap back to the extra mile. The APOC bag. You don't need to do that with the Thor's hammer. It's just what I did having a first look at this hole. So I'm going with 2 right spin, and then you could see plenty of top spin there. You don't want to overdo the top spin though, especially in tailwind. Just max +10, and then I'm going full overpower with a slow needle. Nice and easy to hit perfect. Obviously in headwind it's going to be a bit difficult to get close to the green, as close as I get here, but you will still have a decent chance for an eagle. You will probably get to wedge range, or at very worst have a rings from min thorn approach. You will probably see some hole-in-ones on this par 4. We are on the green and we are putting for an easy eagle. Slightly tricky par 5 here, and we have a little bit of a nasty wind angle, but we're going to be fine on the drive. I would recommend you play with the Apocalypse. Even in a low level, you will need curl to get to a decent position on this fairway in order to attack for the Albatross. So it is going to be difficult to get that, and I'll explain why later in the video. So I'm aiming a couple of rings away from the rough, so kind of in the middle of that fairway, in between the 2 bunkers, and just nicely in to protect from a great right or anything like that, or a misadjust. We're going mid +10 on this one. Like I said, Apocalypse and a ball with 3 bars of side spin is needed. Now we are going to go with a decent amount of right curl, and that's why we need the Apocalypse there. Look at the tee, it's aligned with that little recess in the adjustment ring to the right, and then I'm going with a circle drop overpower, or circle, or just before the circle drops as overpower, depending how much headwind there is. We need to get over there nicely and roll out to a drive distance of around 340 yards. Now, the issue with the second shot, it's all about getting the speed of the ball right. And you can see here I'm using the left spin that I've got with my katana to get rid of the rough and the bunker. Now, tournament players going for the Albatross, there is another shot here you can play, and that is a secondary bounce rough bump. So you apply top spin, get the second bounce in the rough, and then hopefully roll out to the Albatross there, with the second bounce being in between the bunker and the fairway. But the more general play here, you could see when I was setting up that shot, the ball guide kind of glitches around a little bit, so you want to try and mix the spins and your landing point to get a decent, consistent thing without overshooting the green or the pin too much. True club distance, 10% elevation. In the end, I went with mid here. You can see the speed is pretty good, just needed a small offset. Short and fairly simple par 4, but it is still easy to go in the rough either side due to the narrow fairway. So I'm going with a Kingmaker and setting up with a Thor's hammer, 6 top spin and 3 right spin. The reason I'm using a Thor's hammer is it gives me the best ball guide. You don't have to use it though, but it just helped me in having a look at this hole. Then I switched to APOC, which will be recommended in headwind, and I'm going max +10 on the adjustment here. Maximum distance, 10% elevation. You do need a ball with 3 right spin because the bounce and the ground will slope off to the left. What I should have done here was play within a wall right curl. I didn't do that, however, I was still fine. I made it to the fringe, but a little bit close to the rough for my liking. You can try with a bit more topspin, but be careful in case you overshoot the green. But the idea here is you roll to the fringe for an easy end bringer, or you're on the green for an easy eagle putt on this par 4. Now the key here on this par 4 is to get yourself into a nice position on the drive. Now I would recommend a side spin 3 ball. I'm going with a katana and APOC. You don't need an APOC though, extra mile will suffice. 1.5 top spin, 3 right spin, setting up at max rest with my katana. That's +11 with APOC level 5 and above. And then we're going to just aim as shown. Ball guide is going to point towards that tree in the corner of the fairway. Adjust max plus 10. Now, we need a little bit of right curl, not too much though, and the key here is not to go too heavy on the top spin, otherwise you will roll long into the rough. So mid-wall curl to the right, and this is going to leave you a thorn rings from min approach. You see, it bounces nicely, we're not threatening the rough on the right, rolling underneath the tree branches there towards the top left corner of the fairway, around 360 yards. Second shot, find the min line. If you've got any tailwind, you will need to push up between 3 and 5 rings, so you've got room to adjust. I push up 3 rings here. Obviously, in headwind, I would recommend you play from the absolute minimum distance line because it gives you a nice starting point and a good reference for your adjustment. In the video, I play this one rings from min with 0 elevation. However, this one is under-adjusted, so either I offset the ball guide to the right edge of the cup to compensate, or I play with 5% elevation. Whichever tweak you want to do, really. But rings from min, it's 1% per ring. So if you push up 5 rings, you play 5% slider, and so on. Like I said, in any head window, I would play from the minimum distance line, spins so that you have the ball guide just going through the hole in headwind. So a small tweak there, but a very good chance with the thorn to grab an eagle on this par 4 following a successful drive. Hole in one here for you on this par 3, and it is a rough bump time for the best chance. Now, we're playing with the Grizzly in tailwind and crosswind. Minor headwind, you should be okay. Direct headwind, you may want to play low power ball sniper, or you go with Goliath. Red ring touching the sand on the left, a +1 there with Grizzly level 9, and then I'm adding spins as needed to be in this kind of a minor funnel, not really a funnel, it's more of a slope down to the pin. Now, the reason I'm having the ball guide 1 green square below the pin is because that tailwind is going to push me on a little bit, so make sure you compensate for that. If it's more crosswind, then you wouldn't need to do that. If you had minor headwind, I'd leave the ball guide a little bit high. Max plus 0 is the adjustment here. Centre the ball and hit perfect. This is a very safe rough bump in my opinion. There's a little bit of room for error, but you see we catch the slope really nicely and fall beautifully for the hole in. On this par 5, I play NMT with the Katana, which is of course a power 4 ball. You could play with a power 6 ball if you wanted, but Katana is absolutely fine. APOC I'm going with because I'm going to use a little bit of curl. In fact, I use too much on the drive here, so I will give you an amendment to that. 5.8 top spin, 3 bars side spin to the left. If you have a driver without much curl available, always use a ball with 3 bars of side spin. You could drop down to a Titan though, potentially, if you have APOC. Max plus 10. Now, I went with a ball and a half of left curl. It is too much. I'm okay, but the great right helped me here. So I would reduce down to probably 1 ball of curl to the left. I overestimated how much I needed. And as you can see, I park up at a decent point on the fairway, but that's where I want to be with a perfect rather than a great right, because I want a clear line to the pin. And you can see I've got that exactly here. So a little bit less curl on the drive with a perfect will get you to the same point. Now, we are using our long iron here, which is nice, and even with some headwind, I'm going to be at mid-distance of my club. I estimate this to be mid-distance anyway. Obviously, in tournament, you would need to build in some reference checks with plus yards to get an accurate slider value and nail down that adjustment. But here I'm playing no spin, ball guide passing the left edge of the cup. In fact, I went over the left half. It needed a bit more offset, and going 1 green square beyond the cup because of the headwind. I play with 10% elevation. That is the general elevation that I would recommend on this approach. Centering the ball and hitting perfect. Just needed to offset a little bit more or adjust a little bit more. I like the speed though. We're just missing on the right hand side. Actually decent chance with a good drive on this par 5. Thanks very much for watching this video here on the channel. If it has helped you in any way, please consider sharing it amongst your friends and clanmates in the game. Join us also on Facebook. Head over there, search for BK Golf Clash and join our free group. Loads of members there sharing shots. Free guides are posted, as well as loads of other great Golf Clash resources. So check us out there. You can join in the discussion and also leave feedback on the game in general. Finally, if you wish to help support the channel and keep the content free for everybody, please consider becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the video description down below. Good luck, see you soon, bye for now.